The U.S. Department of Education Student Privacy Policy Office launched an investigation into the Maine Department of Education. This investigation comes amid reports that dozens of Maine school districts are violating or misusing Family Educational Rights Privacy Act, or FERPA, by maintaining policies that infringe on parents' rights.
U.S. Department of Education says the district's policies allegedly allow for schools to create gender plans supporting a student's transgender identity and then claim those plans are not education records under FERPA and therefore not available to parents. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon says parents and guardians have the right to access their child's education records to guide and safeguard their child's mental, emotional, and physical well-being.
She also said it's deeply concerning to hear that teachers and school counselors in Maine are reportedly encouraging and helping students to undergo so-called gender transitions while keeping parents in the dark. We're told violation of FERPA can result in termination of an educational entity's federal funding.